I'm Personal Distraction, and I've been playing this for a while now. I think it's really cool, and I think you will as well. It's time for Lostwave March Madness. So if you're not familiar with the way March Madness works, well, teams, or in this case, songs, are seeded. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've set up a March Madness bracket for unsolved Lostwave songs. Now, what is this bracket meant to judge? Is it meant to judge most mysterious song? No. It's meant to judge best song. What is best? Well, that's subjective, which is why this contest will be fun. At least, I hope it will be. Because all of you are invited. Now, what do you get for winning? Well, you get to boast to everyone that you won, and I will give you a certificate, and if you so will desire, I'll sign something for you. I don't know. So, with that being said, I wanted to start off by just briefly discussing how this bracket was created. I use a fantastic tool that is lostwavecharts.com. I set this to only unsolved songs, and I am not including songs that are A, potential or likely hoaxes, and B, songs that are unfinest. So here's how this is going to work. Once this video drops, you'll be able to predict what songs are going to go on to the next round, and then the next round, and then the next round, and so on. And that link to submit your predictions will be in the description below. That link will also be the link to vote when it comes time for voting. You will have until the time displayed on screen to submit your predictions, and then an hour later at the time now showing on screen is when the first round of voting opens. I will, at the end of this, show all the rounds of voting so you have that information for you. And once you have submitted your predictions, you will have that custom link that you can share to other people, because it won't have any information that you don't want to share. And also you can share it to people to say, hey, here are what my predictions are. I think it's really cool. I like it. I think you will as well. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the songs that we're going to be seeing in the bracket. Are you ready? Here we go. So, starting off on this is a two-sided bracket. Also, by the way, probably should have mentioned this earlier. A typical March Madness bracket is 64 teams or 64 songs. I did not plan this out very well, and I also just had a little bit less time than I thought, so I'm doing a round of 32 to start off with, and if this goes well, then maybe next year I'll do a round of 64. Also, you'll notice that, these are all unsolved, and this is as of the release of this video, the rankings of these. If one of these becomes solved suddenly, well, so be it. It's still going to be in the bracket tournament. That's that. Okay. So, let's take a look at the top. We have the classic Fly Away, aka the Bar tape, versus That's the Magic. Now, it's again interesting. These are both songs that are from Japan, unless I'm mistaken. I think, yeah, they're both from Japan. And I think that'll be a really interesting matchup. But, I think that, Fly Away is so renowned that it's going to be hard for it not pass by That's the Magic, but, who knows? We have The Fallen King, which is the most famous unsolved Lostwave metal song, versus Trouble, which is actually a cover of a Cat Stevens song by an unknown artist. And believe it or not, it won't even be the only Lostwave cover song in this bracket. Then, looking at the number 5 seed, Somewhere in the Night, the AOR classic that's been pitch shifted and it's come from, well, who knows where. The raspy voice on this one is a mystery that keeps so many guessing, and it's going up against Please Come Home, which is a Beatles outfake, and it is the only Beatles outfake on this bracket. Could Please Come Home sneak by and surprise Somewhere in the Night? It's anybody's guess. Then we have Aha, which, great title there. And is this kind of mysterious, unknown 80s song, and it's one that wasn't really even on my radar, but it's seeded number 7, and it's going to potentially be a surprise hit as it goes up against Eastern Wind. There's the other cover I was talking about. It's a cover, and it's quite possibly solved, but it's in a verification hell, and that's about as much as I can say about that. Then we have the number 8th seed, See You Dancin', which is an Italo disco song going up against another song that I had little familiarity with that's called Guinea Pig. And it's from, I believe, like a Vietnamese or some sort of country in that area, PSA. And it's again, not a song that was on my radar, but ranked number 9, which means a lot of people have watched that or listened to that song. And it'll be interesting to see this matchup because, honestly, both of these are kind of mysteries to me. I mean, I'm familiar tangentially with See You Dancin', but, you know, who's going to win this one? It's anybody's guess. Then we have Wait Forever, which is the, you know, sort of 80s sounding. And we have Stay By My Side, which is another mystery song. I just kind of forget about Stay By My Side, which means that it may be a sleeper to watch out for. And we have the 4th seed, H-Bomb, which is definitely the oldest song on this bracket, going up against Let's Get Up. So they're very, very different, and it'll be quite an interesting matchup to see where that one goes. And then, of course, we had the Italo Disco number 1 most mysterious Italo Disco song, Your Eyes, going up against Hey I'm Out, a song but potentially from a German TV show or movie. And, well, it'll again be interesting to see where that one goes. But I think this one, Your Eyes, is probably going to manage to squeak on and go into the next round. But, you know, anything can happen. That's why it's March Madness. Now, let's look at this side. We have probably one of my favorite matchups of this entire bracket, which is the CIA, which, you know, is one of the most mysterious, currently unsolved Lostwave songs, versus Way Cool Family, which comes from, of all places, a My Little Pony stage show. Going up against them, and the 3rd seed is Rubia, which is a mislabeled as Linkin Park Lostwave song, and it's kind of weird because it's in Spanish, and so not sure where Linkin Park even came from on that one. We have it going up against Barney Lo-Fi, which is a, well, lo-fi song, and it actually is really called HRT Nahava 2007, but here I'm labeling it as Barney Lo-Fi, and forgive me if that confuses you, but it's just the name I am going to be, so apologies. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Rubia versus Barney Lo-Fi. Of course, going up in the 5th seed is the classic Poor Christmas, German song. Again, Germans, mystery. Again, the Germans seem to do Lostwave just really quite well, versus Just Make It Louder, which is, again, relatively newer in terms of the attention it's gotten. And it'll be interesting to see that. But the matchup I'm really excited about is Trip to Rio versus Again and Again, because they are very, very different songs, with Trip to Rio kind of having that weird 80s kitsch, and Again just being incredibly catchy. Going up in the 8th seed and 9th seed are Mikhail, which again had not even been on my radar, versus My Pretty Doll, which is this kind of unsolved, you know, Oasis style song, and it'll be really interesting to see if Mikhail is as big a deal as this ranking seems to think it is, because it hadn't been on my radar. Then we have, finishing up, we have Forgive and Forget versus I Was a Fool in Love, Innuendo versus I Know, and Light the Lanterns versus I'd Rather Be a Rock Star. Overall, a really exciting matchup, and one I'm really hoping that you are going to join in with me to do. Until next time, I'm Precious Distraction, and I'm now listening to